You had mentioned Tonight by the Mellow Kings, the New Jersey doo-wop group, and that ballad, but it had a specific image in mind when Salvador Agron had requested that song, among others, for you to send to him.
When I got that list, and then later on when he started to write about the Death House, that song came up, and that was a song that was playing while a friend of his was going to his death the night before. And he told me many times afterwards that whenever he hears that song, it brings him right back there, which again, to me, it's more or less illuminates the power of that kind of doo-wop music, at least for us back then, how we could listen and it would just take us, just lift us up and just take us.
Interesting. Where most people would have been nostalgic about a day or a dance, that reminded him of his friend who was being executed, correct?
Isn't that amazing? That's just, yeah, I mean, and again, I think of that too, and all of that music was going on during the 50s, and it was pretty much nonstop. You'd find it everywhere. It was the music of the times.
At the time that Agron had been arrested and booked and tried, the incident occurred on August 30, 1959. I believe he was arrested in September, correct?
Right, exactly.
That incident occurred just 1 week after the completely unrelated and yet similar incident across town in Manhattan's Lower East Side. Teresa G, she was gunned down. Manuel Cintron was gunned down. And that was just 1 week earlier. That was also around the time that 19-year-old Charles Starkweather, again, completely unrelated, but he was already being sentenced to death in 1959, around the same time that Salvador Agron was being booked. And then, of course, in Jasper, Alabama, there was a teenage boy who had assaulted the wife of his teacher. That was also around the same time. All of that was in the press. Do you feel, your opinion now, this is an opinion, do you feel all of that regarding juvenile delinquency would have affected the trial, the case of Salvador Agron?
It's hard to know for sure, but I would speculate that yes, it did, because there was enough media attention to his case at the time. I can't see how a jury would go home and not listen to other news and be affected by that too. At one point, I did make the acquaintance of Martin Sheen, and I had shown him some of my writing, and we got into a discussion. It was very brief about Caril and Fugate. And the discussion had started because I asked him about the movie. And I told him the work I was doing and all of this sort of thing. And it was a very different person when he talked about her. And he was very honest in his feelings and all of that. But you really didn't get the impression that the little media I had read about her said that, she was wild, she was this and all of that. She was fine from what he said, or at least the image was very different. Any kind of trial had to have an effect on other people. Because again, they go home at night unless they're sequestered, which this jury I don't think was, and they hear things. And again, there was a very hostile atmosphere in New York City against Puerto Ricans. They were at the time considered the invaders, and they were considered the people who were immigrating to New York, and no one wanted them around. So here they had Salvador Agron to, throw their venom at. So yeah, I do. I can't say for sure, obviously, and it is my opinion, but I think it did have an effect. Yeah.
Kind of ironic considering that Puerto Rico is an American colony taken after the Spanish-American War, right?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely.